if they became our 51st state, it'd be the greatest thing they could ever do. It'd be unbelievable. It would be a cherished state. And think of how beautiful that country would be without that artificial line running right through it. Somebody drew it many years ago with a ruler, just a line. You look at how beautiful that is. Wow, it would be very exciting. But if you look at Canada, it would be cherished as a 51st state. Well, not provocation. This is friendliness, not provocation. We're dealing with a lot of people from Greenland that would like to see something happen with respect to their being properly protected and properly taken care of. They're calling us, we're not calling them. And we were invited over there. People from Greenland are asking us to go there. We have many, many requests from many, many people, some officials too. Greenland's going to be something that maybe is in our future. I think it's important. It's important from the standpoint of international security.
U.S. President Donald Trump made a big revelation on his desire to make Canada the 51st U.S. state, but ruled out using military force for it. In an NBC interview on May 4th, Trump called Canada's annexation unlikely, but repeated his interest in owning Greenland. He said military action is off the table for Canada, but something could happen with Greenland for security reasons. Trump laughed off the idea of invading Canada, but reaffirmed he's not dropping his ambition to bring it into the U.S. Remember, U.S.-Canada ties have soured since Trump imposed harsh tariffs over fentanyl and drug trafficking concerns. At a Florida dinner in November last year, Trump urged Trudeau to give up Canada's sovereignty and join the United States. He even mocked Trudeau online, calling him the governor of the great state of Canada, to ridicule Canadian autonomy. Trudeau resigned in January, facing party pressure and low polls. But Trump's tariffs remained in place anyway. Trump imposed a 25% tariff on imports from Canada and Mexico, sparking nationwide boycotts of American goods. Then after Mark Carney was elected Liberal leader just 8 weeks ago, the Liberals achieved a consistent poll lead, which they rode to victory last week. Carney, in a fiery speech, rejected Trump's territorial ambitions and vowed Canada would never be U.S. property.
I have every confidence in our country because I understand what President Trump does not. That we love Canada with every fiber of our being. Because we are stronger when we are together, and Canadians are uniting as never before. Now, we are going to have to live the lessons of recent months. First, that we have to look out for ourselves, and second, that we have to look out for each other. The federal government will do everything in its power to protect Canadian workers and businesses. We will be here for you every step of the way.
Meanwhile, Trump also remains adamant about acquiring Greenland, saying he won't rule out military action there. Notably, Greenland is strategically located between Russia, Europe, and North America, key for U.S. defense planning. However, Greenland's PM has rejected Trump's ambitions, declaring the territory is not for sale and cannot be taken.
Our message to Denmark is very simple. You have not done a good job by the people of Greenland. You have underinvested in the people of Greenland, and you have underinvested in the security architecture of this incredible, beautiful landmass filled with incredible people. That has to change. And because it hasn't changed, this is why President Trump's policy in Greenland is what it is. And what we think is going to happen is that the Greenlanders are going to choose through self-determination to become independent of Denmark, and then we're going to have conversations with the people of Greenland from there. Well, the president said we have to have Greenland, and I think that we do have to be more serious about the security of Greenland. We can't just ignore this place. We can't just ignore the president's desires, but most importantly, we can't ignore what I said earlier, which is the Russian and Chinese encroachment in Greenland. We have to do more. Now, what the president said in his State of the Union address, and he was very clear about this, is we respect the self-determination of the people of Greenland. But my argument again to them is I think that you'd be a lot better coming under the United States security umbrella than you have been under Denmark's security umbrella. Because what Denmark's security umbrella has meant is effectively they've passed it all off to brave Americans and hoped that we would pick up the tab. We're simply saying to the people of Greenland, when the president says we've got to have Greenland, he's saying this island is not safe. A lot of people are interested in it. A lot of people are making a play. We know that America cares about the security of this island for the sake of the people of Greenland, but also for the sake of the national security interests of the United States of America. So our message is very simple. Yes, the people of Greenland are going to have self-determination. We hope that they choose to partner with the United States because we're the only nation on earth that will respect their sovereignty and respect their security, because their security is very much our security, as these brave Americans show. We respect, as the president said in his State of the Union address, we respect the self-determination of Greenlanders. We believe in the self-determination of the population of the people of Greenland. And our argument is very simple. It is not with the people of Greenland, who I think are incredible and have an incredible opportunity here. Our argument really is with the leadership of Denmark, which is underinvested in Greenland and underinvested in its security architecture. That simply must change.
We'll see what happens with Canada, but the people of Canada would be paying less than half of the tax. If you look at the tax, they're going to be paying less than half the tax. They don't pay very much for military, and the reason they don't pay much is they assume that we're going to protect them. That's not an assumption they can make, because why are we protecting another country? Now, I love the people of Canada. We have a great relationship. But if they became our 51st state, it would be the greatest thing they could ever do. It would be unbelievable. It would be a cherished state. And think of how beautiful that country would be without that artificial line running right through it. Somebody drew it many years ago with a ruler, just a line. You look at how beautiful that is. Wow, it would be very exciting. But if you look at Canada, it would be cherished as a 51st state. They don't pay their share of military in NATO. They pay very little for military. They're not protected at all. And the reason is they think we're going to protect them. The other thing is we subsidize them to the tune of about $200 billion a year. If we stop doing that, if we stop allowing them to make cars through tariffs and other things, cars, trucks, etc., what they make, they're not viable as a country.